Now, this may come as a massive shock to you, but today we're going to talk about some Nintendo Switch 2 stuff for a change on the channel. There are a couple different stories floating around out there that I wanted to talk about, so instead of just making them into individual videos, I figured we just throw them all into this one because 3 of these stories are a bit smaller, but the final story is definitely the one that is the most interesting to me. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're not missing out on any uploads and Nintendo Switch 2 and other platform goodness. The first thing we're going to talk about, Mario Kart World, the controversial $80 game coming to us from Nintendo, is of course getting a Nintendo Direct presentation on the 17th, which is 2 days from the time of the upload of this video on Thursday. I don't know when my coverage will be up on that. I actually have a doctor's appointment with my cardiologist that I definitely didn't expect there to be a Mario Kart World event happening for that during that time frame. So it is what it is. I'll get around to it when I get around to it. But a lot of people are wondering, where does this $80 value come into play? Why is this so much different than the $60 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that we got that had new features and new game modes and new characters to be added in? Well, a lot of us are looking at the free roam aspect of the game, thinking that something can be baked into that, but is there some level of customization that Nintendo hasn't really talked about quite yet? It does seem like that is indeed the case, because if you take a look here, some eagle-eye people noticed that there seems to be some sort of sticker customization. You can see here we have 2 images of Bowser Jr. in the exact same vehicle, but one of them he has a Bowser sticker here, and one of them he has a 1-Up sticker here. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. You know, you could kind of put some different stickers on stuff and customize it to your liking. Does that make the game worth $80? Not really, but I mean, I'm sure they're going to show off a bunch of other stuff with this because, you know, this is the flagship game. This is the launch title game. There are rumors that most of the Nintendo Switch 2s that are being put out there into the wild, that over 75% of them are going to be the bundle and not the standalone version of the Switch 2 that comes in at $450. They're mostly going to be prioritizing the $500 bundle. So I guess the thought process with this game is they want as many people to get the game and get the bundle instead of just buying the system a la carte. I'm still looking forward to the game, you know, even though it is a bit on the pricey side. Like, I'm still going to pick it up. I'm obviously trying to get my greasy mitts on one of these bundles. I don't think sticker customization is going to push me over the edge to be like, yes, this is definitely, you know, an $80 game or something like that. But I do think that there are a lot of different tricks up Nintendo's sleeve when it comes to Mario Kart World. I feel like that there's a reason for this Direct, and they're going to show us a lot more that this game is going to have in it. What are your thoughts on Mario Kart World? Are you excited to put stickers on your cart and customize it? Let me know in the comments down below. The next thing I want to briefly mention is a game that completely flew under the radar for many people during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Actually got a little bit of an update situation, and that involves Fast Fusion. Now, on the screen, I am showing Fast RMX footage because for whatever reason, they only showed off like 6 seconds of Fast Fusion on the Nintendo Switch 2, which really is weird to me. Shinen, I always forget how to say it, really does good work on Nintendo platforms. And if you've ever played the Fast franchise, not Fast and the Furious or the Fast and Furious movies, you would know that these are graphical showcases and really great looking games, but they always come out around the launch and then Shinen just kind of disappears forever. And I'm really looking forward to this game, and after this additional information that was discovered recently, I think I'm even looking forward to this game even more because, kind of like I talked about over the weekend with Nintendo kind of doing the unexpected by having things like 120 frames per second available in handheld or docked mode and up to 4K visuals in docked mode as well. Fast Fusion will actually be taking full advantage of that. In docked mode, the game will be able to run at 4K 60 frames per second or 1080p 120 frames per second. And like I said, if this is becoming more and more of a standard, and I'm sure, like, I get it, like third-party games, a lot of them are not going to hit those metrics. But if we're talking about first-party games, you know, games that are, or studios that are familiar with Nintendo stuff, or exclusive games, or games designed with the Switch 2 in mind, like, I think that really bodes well for the future. Like, I'm super excited for this game. If you like F-Zero or fast racing games, I guess no pun intended, in general, like, you're gonna have a super good time with this game. You know, let me know in the comments if you've ever played any of these games before, because I think they're super just underrated. And the fact that, like, nobody talks about these, like, they have like online play and like gorgeous visuals, as you can see here, for a Switch 1 game. Now, this game is coming out on June 5th, and I highly recommend that this is one of your purchases if you pick up a Nintendo Switch 2. And the final thing I want to talk about is what seems to be a nice big update to Nintendo Switch 2 Online. We've been talking a bit about things like the Nintendo Switch 2 eShop, and of course adding in things like voice chat and, well, really low frame per second sort of video chat if you want to use some of that as well. But I feel like Nintendo Switch Online was very underwhelming for a lot of people. The slowness of the system, how everything just kind of chugged along. So to see upgrades to like the eShop, to see them actually implementing native voice chat into the system is a good thing, even though it's technically locked behind a paywall. But there's actually some more images that have come out from Nintendo of Japan that showcase Nintendo Switch Online, the portion where you go in and find out like your subscription service, you know, update and stuff like that. And it does look very, very similar. Now, this is obviously in Japanese, so I can't really like read any of this. I don't know my kanji or anything like that, and I don't know if it's said kanji. The whole reason I call it that is because there is a t-shirt in WWF No Mercy that you would use to like mimic the NWO, because it was black and it had like white lettering on it, and the shirt was called kanji and the white lettering was Japanese, so that's why I call it kanji. So if I'm saying it wrong, you know, say something in the comments. But you could see here, you could do your different little icons, you get your information and crap like that, you know, all sort of basic stuff. But this is actually what has me very interested, and that is kind of the blending together of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack stuff. So instead of, it seems like, at least if I'm judging this picture correctly, that instead of having to open up an individual app to access these games, you can just open up the Switch Online app, and then boom, this is where all your games are. So obviously it's kind of contingent on which level you have. It is interesting that there is no Sega Genesis on here. I'm not sure if that is a separate tab, but being able to just kind of click over, like, I want to play a Super Famicom game, or Super Nintendo if you're in the United States, and then it just lists them, and then you just go down, you hit it, and then you're in there. Like, this to me seems a lot cleaner, and I think that's kind of one of the motifs going in with this system, is how they're just trying to build upon the base of what is already laid down, because, you know, they're not really reinventing the wheel with this system, and for many people that is absolutely fine. They're just refining a lot of things that needed to be refined on the Nintendo Switch 1, things like online, things like voice chat, things like, you know, the subscription services, you know, making things snappier, making things better, making things more intuitive for the end user who is doing this sort of stuff. So I'm on board with this. I think this looks very nice. It looks very clean. I'm interested to see how this kind of evolves over time, though, because you got to remember, like, this on the Switch 1 evolved over time. This changed as the system got older and stuff like that. So I do kind of wonder, like, what the future holds, and really I wonder how GameCube games are going to work. You know, is it going to do like a local download of it or something like that? Because some of those GameCube games, you know, they can get up to 700-800 megabytes, and you don't have, you know, you have 256 gigs on the system, but, you know, one or two third-party games is going to eat that up. So I do wonder kind of how the distribution of games and stuff like that is going to be handled. But I think this looks very nice. I think this looks very clean. It looks like it's also done by like order or something like that. So hopefully you can just access the game directly from this, because I don't know. I think that would be really cool. And that pretty much wraps it up. So we got Mario Kart World crap with the stickers. Is that exciting to you? Are you a sticker? Do you like to customize your notebooks with Lisa Frank stuff? Really dating myself with that reference. Fast Fusion, is that on your day one purchase list? And if not, why? Because it should be. That game's going to be awesome. And these Switch 2 Online enhancements. Are you digging them? What do you think about them? Let me know everything in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. I don't know what I was going to say right there. I lost my train of thought. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.